Hi guys and Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have an amazing time to celebrate this very special occasion with your friends or your family or maybe even by yourself, just like me tonight. I just want to come here to share with you that experience. It's actually one of the chapters in my book. So for those who already read part of my book, I'm pretty sure you guys familiar with this experience. But for those who do not, I'm going to share with you guys tonight and hope it will help you to understand why this experience it's just always in my mind during Christmas or when Christmas is around the corner. So let me share with you. The title is called The Spirit of Christmas. When in jail, the last thing you want to think about is Christmas. A season spent with friends and family, people so near and dear to you that Christmas without them just isn't Christmas. It was early September when I began thinking about Christmas. At first, I kept it to myself. I didn't want my friends to think I was crazy. Who celebrate Christmas in jail? But I couldn't get the thought out of my mind. I love Christmas. And the idea of doing something to celebrate wouldn't leave my mind. It came to my mind everywhere, in the shower, in the yard, in bed. The sun was shining, birds were chirping, and the sound of vehicles speeding by on the Alton Parkway always reminded me that there was more out there than in here. My friends and I would gather underneath the shade of a magnificent tree to enjoy lunch. We didn't have much, but we had each other, which was more than enough. We shared news from letters received. Any communication from the outside was like gold. Any communication from the outside was like gold. When there was no more to share, I spoke up. I wasn't worried about being seen as crazy any longer. To my surprise, everyone was excited to help make it a reality. Leah came up with decoration ideas, and Juliet proposed buying treats from the commissary. Brianna suggested we prepare Christmas songs. We love singing. Sometimes we would get too loud during lunches. Our laughter would drown out the distant sounds of traffic. I love these moments. It didn't matter that we were incarcerated, that none of us had seen our families in months or even years. We had each other, and that's all that mattered. In these moments, we enjoyed life. Miraculously, I completed the individualized gifts for everyone a few weeks before the celebration. However, I still needed to prepare extra gifts for the detainees without access to the commissary. I spent much of my allowance on Christmas gifts, but thought it would be good to provide extra gifts for the new women. As I calculated the costs, I realized that even with help from my friends, we wouldn't be able to afford everything. I needed help from the outside. I asked our church leader for help. She always said she enjoyed helping others, but I was worried my request was too much. I discussed the idea with my prayer group, and all supported it. I wrote a letter and asked everyone to sign. It remained tucked away in the book of Genesis for 2 days. When Tuesday came, I brought my Bible to the service and handed our letter to Maggie. Out of curiosity, I checked my balance a few days before Christmas. Maggie had deposited everything we asked for and more. Overjoyed, I shared the news with the group. We began making lists of items for the women. 2 days before the celebration, Leah and Julia decided to make a Christmas tree out of a rotating book rack in the day room. And I'll share with you this picture of how this Christmas tree looked like and how it turned out. We folded pieces of paper and decorated the rack to look like a tree. It was time consuming, but with many helping hands, a tree was created. It was the most beautiful Christmas tree I had ever seen. Even the officer, called Tinkerbell, walked by the tree and commented, "Wow, this is a really nice tree, and you also have gifts," pointing to all the different envelopes underneath the book rack. "This is the first time I've seen this. Great job," she exclaimed in a very excited voice. I wanted to provide a gift for each detainee, but coming up with the right gift proved more difficult than I thought. The commissary only stocked certain items, and I didn't know each detainee personally. So I raised the idea of making a secret sister gift exchange. I knew it would be a challenge with more than 50 women, but this was the only way to make it happen. Oh my god. Even just flipping that takes. Okay, we'll skip that part. I worried some would get upset with the idea, but no one was. Instead, everyone wanted to know how they could get a gift for their secret sister. I suggested using the issued items we received from the facility and decorating them. Surprisingly, everyone was excited about the idea. The day before Christmas was one of my busiest days in jail. My bed was full of paper and crayons. I made Christmas cones for specially ordered popcorn. Others were finishing their specially designed envelopes to open their secret sister gifts. The smell of popcorn filled the day room on the day of the celebration. I wish I could say there was a fancier smell, but popcorn was all we could afford. The aroma of hot cocoa was added, putting everyone in a good mood. Thanks to the amazing Deputy Condessa, who was willing to allow us to celebrate in our day room. Otherwise, all of these activities would have been impossible. I even remember the notes that I had to write to the sheriff for permission to use the hot pot. It was a few weeks before Christmas, and I had not received any response until that day. This made me realize that sometimes when you really have a pure intention to serve others, the Lord will always provide a way no matter what. Understandably, some women did not join in the celebration. I began questioning myself when I saw women resting in their beds while others sang, laughed, and ate. Was this a good idea? Those celebrating kept asking, "Now what?" They were excited for more, and everyone saw me as the MC. First up, Christmas carols. Many didn't know the lyrics, but the hymns were spot on. It touched my heart. All of us separated from our families with little to share on Christmas celebrated. In our native languages and some broken English, we sang as one. The songs were so moving that even those in their bunks walked out to see them. Everyone had come together. After caroling, we played games. Laughter, love, and joy were everywhere. To my surprise, most of my friends stepped up and created games for everybody. The women we thought were shy were actually not shy at all. They turned out to be very funny and very good actors. We created a drama that was about the three wise men, and one of the women who took part, who happened to be the quietest person, came out of her comfort zone and made everyone laugh about how she acted her part and the script that she made up on the spot. For the first time, I felt that this woman finally felt comfortable around us and realized that all we wanted was just to have a good time with each other. Or maybe it was just another example of Christmas spirit and how it touches our hearts in different ways. Unfortunately, I missed all the games because I was preparing for the gift exchange. While placing each gift, I sensed the care, time, and effort spent on each one. When gifts were presented, Sacred Sisters hugged, some laughed, and some cried, all with deep appreciation. It was the best Christmas in the loneliest place I've ever been. That night, as I lay my head to bed, I couldn't help but thank God for making it happen. I believe God uses our desires and visions to direct us towards what we are intended for. I am convinced that we exist to serve each other, and that's why serving always feels good. The following morning, I overheard a phone conversation between a detainee and her family. The excitement she expressed about the previous night's celebration was palpable. At that moment, I realized the celebration went far beyond our walls. It included families on the outside. They must have been shocked to hear how we partied in jail. Our last planned surprise happened on Christmas morning. For the first time, detainees without commissary would have their shelves filled with items. The money Maggie donated allowed us to fill shelves on Christmas morning and throughout the entire Christmas week. The women were shocked to see their shelves filled with items. All were thankful. Some even cried because of Maggie's Christmas miracle. Like ripples of water from the stone, one small act of kindness can multiply into countless others. The Lord answered my prayer through my friends and gave me the courage to act on His special day. Who would have ever thought that one of the best Christmas memories would come from an American